What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordyn. I am Sam. This is Jordyn in our normal, regular assigned spaces this week. But we had such a good time last week, just being together for the first round of the NFL draft. I feel like I haven't had that much fun in so long.
No, Sam, there is nothing better than watching football with you, watching sports related things with you, such as the NFL draft, because me and Sam are literally the same person and we are equally as excited and passionate about everything. So we just get to scream and react with each other. And it's so fun. And I loved having you here. That was Sam's first time in my new apartment too.
Yes, I was so happy. I was so happy to be there, and we hung out, and Jordyn made us tacos, and we just had the best time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was so funny how we were posting over the weekend, like the content we had made, and people, the one person was like, "Oh, I love a good drunk draft," and I was like, Jordyn sent that to me, and she was like, "How do we tell them we're sober? Stone cold."
Not a sip of alcohol. At one point, I was like, should we have wine or seltzer? And we were both like, yeah. And then we just like literally never did.
No, we drank soda instead.
So much soda.
Yeah.
We needed it. That was a long night. Being live for 4 hours. Me and Sam literally finished and just looked at each other and we're like, we just did that. However, I do want to say we had such a blast with everyone that was watching live and interacting. We had viewers making Google Sheets for us on the spot. Like, the vibes were so high. We loved seeing all your predictions, what you got right. I did not like the narrative of me wanting Shedeur Sanders to the Eagles that went around, but no, it was literally the best night. Like everything I could have wanted from the NFL draft.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I was just so happy to see you, and we're already planning our next future get together, which will be hopefully very, very fun.
Yes.
And we have a lot of stuff cooking up for you guys this year. Unsolicited is we're hitting the pavement hard. The snow is gone. It's legitimately summertime. I'm like, I just feel so happy all the time.
No, literally, I was driving home today and I was like, what's different about my life? And I was like, oh, it's sunny and warm. Like, I'm not driving home when it's pitch black like this. Like, I had my windows down. I was listening. Sam made us a teenage dirtbag playlist. And I was listening to all of our favorite pop, punk, rock songs. And it was just phenomenal. Vibes were so high.
I did put the link to that playlist in the last bio. I'll put it in this week's too. So if you guys are interested in hearing the Teenage Dirtbag playlist / have any requests to add to it, let us know, because I had a really fun time. I made another one. I made my classic rock playlist, and I think after this I'm going to go into like early 2000s like R&B straight up like bangers.
Yeah.
Like that's my next like genre I think I'm going to make a playlist for. I'm having fun. I'm literally just sitting on my phone just like scrolling through all the music in the world.
I always want a playlist because like whenever I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood for this song, once I hear it, I only want songs in that exact vibe. And I can never think of them on the spot. And then I go to make playlists and I add like a few songs. Like it's never enough. Like I'm just not good at making playlists. And I'm always pissed that I don't have playlists. So I'm living through Sam and her enjoying and being good at making playlists.
I make a playlist for everything. Like legitimately, I have a playlist of songs that I just really like and I just never get old of. That is called Listen Until I Get Sick of It. And I've never deleted a song off that playlist. The first song on that playlist, Champagne Problems.
Incredible.
Yeah, just like ridiculous. I have another playlist that's like songs that I like to sing while I'm in the car. Like very specific ones that anytime they come on, I'm like, yes, I'm in the car and I can like belt this out by myself. That, and I'm a big fan of when I'm going to see a concert, making a playlist of the set list.
Yes. Also, Sam, we literally on our reading retreat, Sam threw me a surprise bridal brunch. Had a playlist for the bridal brunch.
It was just Taylor Swift songs about love.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the entire playlist. And
that's my life.
every single song that Taylor Swift has ever written about being in love. We got a playlist. So
Incredible.
but we have quite a show lined up today. I'm
Woo!
literally Jordyn sent me a doc that was like broken down with a full rundown. Like Jordyn and I literally went back and forth today for like hours just about everything. And then we were locked in today.
We really were.
We were locked in today. So shall I go in the direction of the rundown that you sent me?
Yes, let's run through it.
Okay.
Guys, I'm so excited. And this is literally going to be torture because we're teasing all this stuff because we're talking about it behind the scenes. You guys aren't going to see shit for months, but we have some really, really fun stuff coming.
Okay. First things first. To start off our show today, we're going to talk a little WNBA preseason because we've never really done this before, but I feel like we are entering WNBA the way that we enter NFL, where we need to see it start to finish. So we've had both drafts now. WNBA works a whole lot faster. So we're already entering preseason, and like I'm shocked this entire month that the way these girls operate. I can't.
It's literally their life changes like this. And that's what, when Paige signed with Unrivaled before the draft,
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people very confused. And they're like, oh my God, so she's not going to get drafted now? She's not going to the WNBA? No, because of the way the WNBA works, it's literally draft, preseason, boom. Before you know it, your season's over. And then you have this whole other part of the year. And that's when the Unrivaled season starts. And I got to be honest, I didn't watch much of Unrivaled. I'm going to be watching now. I'm very excited to like just see the difference in between the two leagues. But yeah, this is also the first time ever that the NBA or the WNBA preseason is even being broadcasted. So it's like before it would be like we'd get like little snippets of like, oh, who's playing here, what they do. And now we get to watch every single game. All 15 of them are being broadcasted. And I'm very excited because also, again, like this is new for us. Is it going to be like the NFL where it's like we see like some of the lesser name people and like you get introduced to them, you get to see them for the first time? Or like, is this going to be our first time seeing Paige Beckers in a Dallas Wings jersey playing in a WNBA game? So I'm very excited.
I believe that I don't think they have the resources to not start their starters.
You know what? Very, very valid point.
I mean, I could be completely wrong about that. If I am, please let me know. But I would imagine that the WNBA, it's like, yeah, no, we're going to see Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and all the rest of the girls in this league because they don't really have the ammunition to be like, no, you don't have to start yet.
You know what? That's so real. And also, I feel like things move so quick that it's like, if you're not playing in preseason, like you're not warmed up enough for the season. Like you kind of have no choice because it's not like you have 2 months of training camp as a rookie. Like,
yeah, no, it's a lot quicker. Also
imagine like going to college, being there for normally athletes, granted athletes transfer, but like a lot of them, like you're there for your whole college career. It could be anywhere from 4 to plus years. Then all of a sudden you're drafted, you're shipped to this new city. Like your whole life just changed overnight.
No, because of the fact that I get so much Paige Beckers content on my TikTok, as you guys probably know, I saw like people were like I was seeing like press conferences and things of Paige starting, in Dallas and whatever. And I saw people in the comments that were basically saying like, I can't wait for her to get confident again. And I'm like, she's literally just a girl.
Yeah.
Moving to a new city, starting a brand new life that she's been preparing herself for. This isn't shocking, but at the same time, like she's doing this all by herself. I'm sure she's got family. I'm sure she's got friends that are supporting her. But like at the end of the day, everyone's looking at you. And as a 20-something-year-old girl sitting there, like, wow, the weight of this, basically, I'm part of this puzzle piece to get this entire league in motion for people to make a livable wage.
Yep. That'd literally be like everyone being like, why is it like, I'm trying to compare it to like a backup for example, when no, this isn't similar. I'm trying to think of like in comparison, like a college NFL player that was like a star that gets drafted to an NFL team, like where you're forced to kind of chill first. Like you went from being the cream of the crop to bottom, like you're a rookie. There are vets that have been doing this for years and years and years. It's a whole new dynamic. Like before UConn, like she was UConn. The team was built around her. And like obviously she's going to be that for Dallas.
Right.
But you don't just come out of the gate and be that. Like it takes a minute.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like just to think like she's nervous.
Yes.
She wants to play well and she will play well, but like she also has to make herself good. Like she's not just going to walk out onto the court and suddenly be like, I'm WNBA ready. You know, like you have like, I think even the Fever started last year, like 0-4, 0-5. Like
Yes.
everyone was like, when's Caitlin Clark going to win a game? And I'm like, girl, she's on a team. It's not Caitlin Clark against everyone in the WNBA. And that goes the same for Paige.
Now it like somehow it ended up being that anyway. Now Indiana Fever is favored to win the WNBA championship.
I think this is going to be a very interesting season.
Oh.
I think there's been a lot of off-season moves. It's like there's so many pieces that are coming together. And like there's a lot of really good teams in this league.
And we also get the addition of the Golden State Valkyries.
We do. Where Kate Martin has found her new home, even after just a year in Vegas. But I'm very excited. And Caitlin Chen got drafted by the Golden State Valkyries. So
I think that's insane how both of them were like, oh, I'm just here to support my friends. And they both end up on Golden State. Yeah, the one dagger for me is we're probably not going to see Cameron Brink until closer. I saw June. I feel like that's still early.
Yeah, when did she?
I think it's been like
hurt. Like
8 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because, especially because that was her rookie season, and like she didn't get to really have a full rookie season, and now she's missing part of her sophomore season. It's like not fair, but it's. I'm sure she'll be back. But the Sparks are also another really good team. That's like
they got Kelsey Plum. They got Kelsey.
They did. They did get Kelsey Plum, and everyone's been moved around. Jewel Lloyd went over to Vegas. I think was within that Kelsey Plum deal. I think.
Yes.
There was just like a bunch of different things going on within that deal. It wasn't just like a normal trade. But yeah, it's just I'm shocked at how invested I've suddenly become in this sport. It's like was like night and day. How suddenly I'm like, WNBA preseason starting?
I don't know where all of the knowledge came from. I genuinely don't. Brian asked me one question right before the WNBA draft. I went on a spiel about all these things, and he just looked at me, and I looked at him. And I was like, that's in here. Like, I am a WNBA fan. And it was just, I became obsessed with a girl that went to Iowa, and it's been granted, I knew of Paige. Paige I've been following on Instagram since I was in like 8th grade. It feels like it was probably high school, but I didn't actually start paying attention until like 2 years ago. I just knew she was this cool blonde chick that played basketball. And I said,
yeah, that sounds cool. Follow.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah,
I think I like you. And now I'm going to watch edits of you as a 27-year-old adult.
Oh, how the turntables.
Oh, how the turntables.
But yeah, overall, I'm excited. I mean, we don't get a Paige Caitlin matchup until like the end of June.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I was actually looking at the Liberty schedule today because we were looking at it for work, and the Wings are going to be here, Fever's going to be here, the Aces are going to be here, the Sparks are going to be like, and I like forgot. I'm like, oh my God, like I could go to these games.
I know, like, should we go?
Yeah, we should. And like, well, to be fair, tickets are getting more expensive now. And I even looked, and like the nosebleeds were like $90. And like, that's a lot from last year.
That's like the only shitty part. That's like, it's like, obviously you want women's sports to thrive. Like, I'm so excited with how many people are like also hopping on the WNBA hype train, but it's like, damn, like, it's not just like, oh, we can just go just to go. Like,
Yeah.
commitment.
That's why I want to start going to women hockey games like now, because tickets are like $20, and like I think that's like the next thing that's going to be like people are going to start paying attention, because they started the league. The league is brand new.
Yeah.
It started like last year. So I'm like, I like, if you want to get into it, like you got to get into it now and enjoy it now while no one's paying attention, because soon enough people will be paying attention, and then those tickets are going to be hundreds of dollars.
No, I'm all in on women's hockey. Do you know that Spencer played ice hockey growing up? I told you that.
Did. And she lived like the life of like a young girl in a book being on a hockey team.
Really did. I'll tell you this quick segue story about my sister. So my sister grew up playing, we were both figure skaters, and she told my mom, like, no, I want to go on the hockey side. There were two rinks. One was figure skating, one was hockey. Mom was like, what the fuck are you saying to me? Like, why do you, she's watching these boys like check themselves. And so she's like, you're not playing this. So my mom put her in street hockey and was like, try this. We'll see if you like it. And she was convinced that she wouldn't. And then Spencer ended up being this like prodigy. She was in an all boys league. The men's like the coaches would fight over, they had a draft for the kids. They would literally fight over who was getting Spencer on their team. She was playing like center, I think. And then one day they didn't have a goalie. So there goes, I'll play goalie. Never playing goalie in her life. Was unbelievable. And then just like became the league's goalie. Ended up playing ice hockey for a few years. It was just insane. So, and those were some of my favorite games to watch. So I'm all in for women's ice hockey.
They really need to write a book about Spencer.
No, it's literally insane. There was literally one of the moments too where she had a full shutout game, like had this incredible thing. And then her name's obviously Spencer. So people don't assume that she's a girl.
Yeah.
And then she takes her helmet off at the end. The braids fall out. All the guys on the other team are like, like this girl. And they're like 11. Like they can't handle that at that age. It was amazing.
It's just like
a demon. There was one time she watched one of her teammates get tripped. The goalie, ended up in the penalty box because some kid was running by her and she just stuck her stick out and tripped him. And they were like, you can't do that. Like me and my mom are sitting there like, what the hell?
Oh, I love Spencer.
Literally the best person ever.
She's really amazing. I love it. All right. Well, I'm very excited to get into this next topic, because the Bill Belichick, Jordyn, Hudson story, which is basically, so we're also forgot to say, do you really want to know where I was April 29th? Yep. It's April 29th.
It's happy April 29th.
Yes, happy April 29th to all those who celebrate. Bill and Jordyn. We will not be celebrating. We're just to those who do celebrate. Anyways, we are not. I'm not gonna. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I was gonna try.
Those who get it will get it.
You get it. You get it. Anyways, Bill and Jordyn. Not our Jordyn. Jordon, not Jordyn. Jordon. Stupid
Weird
way to tell it, by the way.
Yeah.
I think she's ruining his life.
I think so too. And I just want to know what the hell. I mean, I was going to say what she's getting out of it. Obviously, Bill Belichick, I'm assuming, wealthy man. But at the same time, like, Jesus Christ, I think this is elder abuse. Like, what is happening to him? Like, the same way, if this was switched age-wise and he was being that controlling with her, it would be like cops would be called, even though she's legal. Like what she's doing to him is weird.
Very.
So for those that don't know, there was the CBS interview.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the behind the scenes of the interview where she just like kept interjecting and like they asked how they met and she was like, we're not talking about that. And then there's a clip of them like talking and she's just standing next to Bill like, I don't know. And then the interviewer was like, she was a constant presence during our interview. And then the whole thing was really, really sketchy and weird. And then as of today, so we're recording the episode on Tuesday, this morning, she like posted Bill's emails. I don't know. This whole thing is weird to me.
And I know the journalist, I never know how to say his name, Tony Dukupil. I don't think that's right. Anyway, the guy from CBS who did the interview, he's like a very like well-renowned reporter. Like he's not just some schmuck from ET who's like, you know, jumping over here and being like, "Oh, how'd you guys meet?" Like it was an interview, like a real sit-down interview.
It's
And
very normal.
she was sitting there the whole time like locked in, and like the way that they met apparently is they met on a flight. But I did the math. They met in 2021. They started dating in 2023, but she was 20
Yep.
or 21.
And what I don't understand about the whole like we're not talking about how we met thing, because that makes it sound so sketchy. She's posted publicly about how they met. She posted on the she posted their meet anniversary and
So dumb.
posted Bill Belichick signed one of her textbooks. I'm like, this child, like,
Oh my God.
he signed one of her textbooks. And what did he say? Thanks for giving me a course on logic. And like made the caption about like, I'll always be giving you courses on logic. Like, yeah. So like the fact that like you've openly talked about it, why are you going to be so sketchy in this interview? And also it's his interview. Like, why are you controlling it?
And like, I don't know if it's just he's getting older, he's retired, but like we grew up watching Bill Belichick coach football. This is not the Bill Belichick that I remember.
No.
And again, I don't know what's going on in terms of his age because he is in his 70s now and everything, but like obviously still coherent enough to work. He just took the job at North Carolina. Like, I just don't understand why he's letting her do this. It's just, and the posting, and it's very obvious that he doesn't post for himself. Like, she's running his Instagram and his social media, and she's the COO of Belichick Productions or something. Like, I don't know. It feels like I feel guilty just about like conspiring on somebody's relationship that I don't know. But at the same time, like just being on the outside and looking in, you're like, this is really weird.
It's very weird. And with everything, like it to me, it just seems like she's cashing a check and going after a career. Like at this point, like, and I didn't want to believe that. Like
Yeah.
I was like, this is strange, but like there has to be something there because, like you already mentioned, like we've grown up watching Bill Belichick. Like the Bill Belichick that I had in my head was like very stern, very sane, very just like normal. So for him to be in such an abnormal situation, I was like, there has to be something to this. And now seeing all like, I don't get it. I don't get what he's getting out of it. Like other than a hot young girl, like it's just, but that doesn't seem like to me anything that Bill Belichick would care about. Like, I don't know. Obviously, like we're talking about people that we don't know. I don't know Bill Belichick's wants and wishes and desires, but
Of course.
it seems weird.
I was just going on to her Instagram because it did say on the post with the email, full statement to be released later today. So I was like, it's later, maybe. I don't know. I just checked. But what's this? The second slide of the Instagram post. It's just like looks like a blurry video from, I'm assuming, the CBS interview with the timestamp 35:59, but it's like, what is that?
I don't know.
Like, is this some like weird conspiracy? Like, I'm lost.
I can't wait to hear the full statement. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, I'm sure it'll be out. So maybe we'll have some updates there. But yeah, very.
What do you think about the fact that he signed that book with all of his years that he won championships?
That was the first moment where I was like, maybe he's the fuck boy.
Like, what was that? Like, he was just like, Oh, guess what? I'm super successful, in case you didn't know. Here's all the years that I won Super Bowls.
No, I literally pictured him being like, "Oh yeah, like I'm Bill Belichick. Like here's a hot young girl asking for my autograph, giving me a course on logic. Like let me show off my Super Bowls." And it worked. She's wrapped around his finger.
Or he's wrapped around hers.
Yup. Yup.
It's just weird. And I ignored them for like the last 2 years, honestly. I'm like, all right, Bill's got a young girlfriend, whatever. Go live your life, buddy. But like all of a sudden I'm like, this is giving off a vibe. Like,
And now the report came out today that like UNC's nervous about this, and they're nervous about how this is going to affect his performance. Like that's huge.
And I believe his son is the defensive coordinator for North Carolina. And so obviously it is obvious nepotism there. He brought his son in.
Yeah.
And like I think UNC like posted something about Steve Belichick and now he's Bill Belichick's son. And they said that Jordyn sent them an email and was like, we would like Steven to be known as a separate, like his own entity, basically. And it's like, okay, sure. But also, when you share a last name and now you're on the same coaching staff, it is very obvious that Steve Belichick got this job because Bill Belichick is the head coach. Like,
and hello, isn't that the same son that worked with him on the coaching staff of the New England Patriots?
Yes.
Like, this is nothing new.
Yeah, right. It's like we all know who Steven Belichick is.
Yeah.
He's a little weird.
But very weird.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing wrong. All good, Steve. Do your thing, buddy. But like, that's like, also that man. How old is Steve Belichick? Like, could you imagine a 24-year-old girl speaking on your behalf of your dad's girlfriends? Like, sorry, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, I want to know what he thinks of their relationship.
Age. Somebody give me. He's 38. He's 38 years old, and a 24-year-old girl is coming onto an email saying, "Can we separate the two? Can we have them be their individual?" Like, also, who cares? No offense about the defensive coordinator of the North Carolina Tar Heels, unless you're a Tar Heel fan.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It just, now I'm mad.
No.
I'm just angry at her because she obviously is like on her high horse and living her life, and that's great. Good for her. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crotchety.
I'm worried about Grandpa Bill.
I know. I wanted Bill to be down in Florida.
Me too. As long as she was nice.
Right.
If you're going to be all snippy snappy with everybody and then start making, not that Bill Belichick was ever a ray of sunshine, but like, I feel like this is even worse.
He was his own type of sunshine.
You know what video I love of Bill Belichick? We're talking about him like he's dead. Like,
yeah. Let's remember Bill Belichick.
The video with, oh my God, now I'm forgetting the wide receiver who invited him to his Halloween party.
On the Patriots?
Was it Randy Moss? No. Yeah.
I think it was Randy Moss.
Yeah.
I'll confirm. And then Bill showed up and he was like, all
dressed up. Whole costume.
Halloween party. And you know what? At that time, I remember it was Randy Moss. Nice. He convinced him to come to the party.
Yes.
He was married and he was dating that woman, gorgeous woman, who was obviously more within his age range. And she was this gorgeous woman, and they got married and like was very low-key about it. One day, Bill shows up on the sidelines wearing a ring, and everyone's like, cool, good for you, buddy. And then they got divorced. And I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I was like, dang, I liked her.
I know. It's weird.
I don't know. But overall, I'm very interested to see how this all ends up playing out because Like, I just feel we're on a runaway train and we're running out of track.
Yeah, I liked it better when I just never thought about them.
Yeah, agreed. Like, go have your relationship. I don't care. But
No.
now it's just getting out of hand.
Like, she's making at first, everyone was like, "Okay, this is weird." And then they were under the radar. Everyone forgot or just, like, didn't care, and now she's, like, making it weird. And it's like, "Okay, no one was into this until now we're all worried."
Yeah. And she'll just be like, "Oh, the haters, the haters." It's like, girl, first of all, we're always gonna have haters. But second of all, now you're just creating more. You created 2 today, me and Jordyn, because
Yeah.
we did not give a flying crap about you and Bill Belichick until today. We've
Literally.
never spoken about them on this show before.
Never.
Because we're like,
That's a lie. We did.
we did.
We did. We talked about we just said when we had
Viewing
him
this information.
when we had him going to Jacksonville, we said he's got his hot young girlfriend. He can go be a Florida man.
That's true, and that's it. That's all we said. Yeah, we were like, good for you. She's gonna like walk around in a bathing suit all day. Slay. I love that for you, Bill.
She is hot.
Yeah, she is. She's incredibly amazing. Like, she's beautiful. She's a pageant girl. Yeah. Overall, I'm not a fan anymore. Sorry, Jordyn Hudson.
Spell your name right.
Yeah, didn't even know that's how you spelled her name until I started reading the articles. I was like, Jordon?
Yeah.
Silly.
Silly, so silly.
Very silly. But with our remaining time, we are going to unpack what was the NFL draft. Because while lots of things happened on day 1 that we were together for, there were 2 more days following that. And my God, things happened.
Things happened. So many things happened. Something happened that wasn't even necessarily, obviously it was draft related, but like one of the biggest headlines from this weekend didn't even have to do with the actual draft itself.
Mhm.
It had to do with the Falcons defensive coordinator's idiotic, greedy, stupid son. It's just insane. So for those, should we give a rundown of what happened?
Yes.
I'm sure everyone knows by now, but just in case.
Okay.
Falcons defensive coordinator's son took Shedeur Sanders' phone number, wrote it down on a piece of paper from his father's open iPad, took that piece of paper back to college with him, and on draft night, on day 2 of the NFL draft, had a friend prank call Shedeur Sanders pretending to be the New Orleans Saints GM. And they were like, yeah, we're going to take you with our next pick. And they're like, oh, you're going to have to wait a little longer, and hung up. And there's video evidence of both sides of this. Like, you see Shedeur on one end answering the phone, like getting excited and then just being so confused. And then you see the kids, the stupid boys on the other end laughing. And listen, I am not the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan. I wasn't watching him fall didn't affect me. Like, I was like, oh, like that's what happens when you get a little too cocky. Like, I totally understood it. That was awful. Like, literally made my stomach hurt because, like, do I think he's a round 1 draft pick? No. Did he deserve that? No. Like, this is still his dream.
No, I agree. I'm not a fan of the way Shedeur Sanders and Dion kind of did the entire draft situation. I think that it was very poorly done. I think that they shot themselves in the foot, basically, or Shedeur shot himself in the foot, letting his dad be so vocal about things, using his name. But I cannot believe that this even happened, because I can't even open a freaking Google Doc at work without going through 17 versions of 2-factor authentication. And you're telling me that a coordinator for the NFL had their iPad open on the counter and his dumbass son saw a phone number? Like, are you serious?
No, it's genuinely insane. And also, like, put it into perspective. If he was like a government official or anything, like, it'd be no questions asked fired. Like, And the Falcons haven't fired him, but the NFL is still investigating. So, like, no matter what, say it was a dumb mistake on his end where he was doing work, left the iPad open. You
Sure.
trust your family. You're supposed
Sure.
to. You walk away. Your idiotic son comes in, steals the information. You genuinely had no idea. And then you end up fired. And this is also like, this is his first year in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like, he just got there. And the Falcons already embarrassed themselves enough on draft night. You really had to go and do this to them? Like,
yeah, just I'm not a fan of the entire situation. And like the fact too, I saw that the kid posted like the statement or whatever on his Instagram. Had
bullshit.
to take it down to repost it because he spelled Shedeur's name wrong. Like that's how much that kid cares. That's how much he cares.
I didn't even see that. I just read the half-ass bullshit apology as if he ever would have apologized if it didn't blow up and become news. Also, saying this with the fact in mind of like the prank call was messed up, beyond messed up, a step way too far. But you're gonna do it. You stole the phone number. You have this all planned. Why the hell are you gonna let someone record it?
Yeah, really. This would have all been continuously just in the air, probably well, they probably would have figured it out at some point, and they posted it, let alone recording it and just having the footage.
Posted it.
Like, how dumb can you be? How dumb can you be?
The whole thing is just really, really awful. And we'll see what happens. Like, there's still a very real chance that this man ends up fired, depending on what the NFL finds.
I mean, the thing is, they've done worse for less, the NFL.
Preach.
Literally, it's unbelievable how Calvin Ridley spent $1,500 on a bet and that guy didn't see a field. And yet, other things, which we don't need to repeat over and over again, and now this. I think he's not going to lose his job.
I don't think so either. I think it happened already.
Fine. And this will just glaze over and eventually be a funny draft story we bring up every other year. We're like, remember when that happened to Shedeur Sanders? When really...
Can I say what you texted me?
Yeah, because I don't remember what I texted you.
Sam sent me a text. I think his dad should beat him and then make him pay for his own college tuition.
Well, obviously, I was in a certain state of mind. I don't even think I remember saying that, so that's cool.
I was like, this is the realest thing I've literally ever seen. It's so true because that just shows like his privilege. Like he really believed that nothing was going to come from that situation.
I think that's where that rage came from for me.
Yes.
There was a bit of female rage coming out a little bit where I was like, this is a very privileged kid who's grown up probably in a more higher class. I don't know their story, but this is me assuming. And going to college, his dad's paying for his college. Like, you make money in the NFL. And then, like, you just take advantage of that when there's so many people in the world who would do so much better with the options that you're given.
Yep.
I'm going to step off the soapbox. I don't have time
to
really delve into that, but
and also like it'd be one thing, like I feel like it would be slightly more excusable if he was like a 10 to 13-year-old.
Sure.
That like did a dumb thing. Like you should know better at that point, but like at that age, it's like slightly more consolable. Like you are a 21-year-old. You can legally drive a car, vote, drink alcohol. You live on your own at college. Like you know better. I'm pretty sure he plays college football. Like, what if someone did that to you on your draft night? Like, it's just insane.
Although I did see, not to give this kid the benefit of the doubt, because I don't think he deserves it, this happens all the time. And I think that this only became such a big story because of the Shedeur Sanders slide.
Well, and also because, like, I feel like it would happen all the time, but it wouldn't be because he stole like, these kids go to college. Like, people have their phone number. Like,
right, exactly. No, this is definitely a step up, but I'm just like, I did kind of read about it, and they like people do this every
Yeah.
year to a bunch of people.
No, and that's why, like, when I saw Shedeur Sanders' point of view first, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, like, that sucks. Like, I feel really bad for him. Like, that's stinky." And then I saw the boys in the dorm room side of it, and I was like, "Ooh, you evil pricks. Like, that's awful." And at that time, just, like, kept scrolling. And then I saw the next day, someone like a
Yes.
pause screenshot with like I think this is the Falcons team. And I was like, "No way." I literally said to Brian, I was like, "Can you imagine if this is true?" And then I got the ESPN notification a few hours later, and I was like, and like that's what makes it so fucked up.
No, it's just crazy. It's just all around just crazy. And
Nuts.
honestly, though, Shedeur, I'm so sorry that that happened to you, but you went when you were supposed to go,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and now you're QB5 in a room, and like, God, Dion just. I don't want to speak bad about Dion because I
I
think he's a Hall of Famer, but like he has so many opinions and is so vocal, and I'm like, dude, come on, like this is your children's lives.
Yes. So obviously, Shedeur Sanders got drafted in the 5th round. Shiloh was an undrafted free agent. He signed with the Bucks. Did you see what
Yes.
he said about Dion?
No.
He literally said he was like, yeah, like my dad was my agent, but that wasn't going too good. So I actually had to sign with an agent. And I was like, and he said it in a funny way. Like everyone was joking. Like they were like, good for him for making light of it. But like
Right.
also like that's very true. I said to Sam, I was like, I think this is reverse nepotism. Like,
Yes. I told everyone I knew that you said that. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Cause it is. And like I did appreciate those seeing the videos of like at least Shiloh and Shedeur like with each other because they were having like very much like brother moments where he was just like, damn, Shadore's dropping. What are they gonna do to me? And it's like basically like the worst other thing you could do without like you didn't get drafted. You were undrafted.
I
Like
loved the memes of them of everyone being like Shiloh getting drafted before Shedeur and like the memes of people like looking at each other.
I saw the
Obviously
one
didn't
from
happen,
I saw the one of Beyonce when she won the Grammy for Cowboy Carter, and she goes, and it was like Shiloh getting drafted to the Browns before Shedeur.
also, the freaking Browns, do you think they're kicking themselves in the ass now for trading out of 2? Because it's like you could have had Travis Hunter and Shedeur, which I think in that case would have been better for the locker room and dynamic because they're
Sure.
already so used to each other. But they traded with Jacksonville.
Ugh, I just would love to know why the Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks in one draft.
Right, like
Huh?
the back of their picks, I believe.
I just don't I just don't understand
No.
that at all. And did you see the clip of them in the war room after they drafted Shedeur and they're all just like
Yep.
just clapping, looking around like nobody's shaking hands, nobody's smiling and clapping each other on the back.
They're like, somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it. And yeah, I just this quarterback battle of Cleveland Browns. I hope Kenny Pickett gets the job. No, wait, did they no, they didn't release him, right? They just didn't pick up his option.
Yes, yes,
But I
no.
hope Kenny Pickett gets chosen.
I agree. Also, what a nightmare blunt rotation that quarterback room would be. Like, can you imagine? The poor Browns. I feel so bad.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is
Such a
so funny.
weird group of people.
Such a
Shout
random group of people.
so random. Shout out Kenny Pickett, though. I agree. I did not like him at the first part of last year. But then he had this playoff game with the Eagles and he ended up getting hurt and like couldn't even finish it out. And I was like heartbroken because he was doing it, like getting the
Well,
job done. He was hurt coming into that game, laid it all out there. And after that game, like I said, he didn't even finish it. We ended up winning because of Tanner McKee, but he earned all my respect that day. So I will now root for him until the end of time because he did exactly what I needed him to do. Earn my respect. And yeah.
I am going to look up Kenny Pickett's draft class right now because I need to see.
Which year was uglier?
No, I want to see what other quarterbacks were drafted this year besides him and Malik Neighbors. I believe that was the same year as Sam Howell. Like, I think that was just a really bad quarterback year.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see.
Sam Howell just got traded again. Where'd he go?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota, yeah. No, wait. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. He went from Seattle to Minnesota.
Right. I was going to say, I was like, did he go from Minnesota to Seattle or Seattle, Minnesota? Because then they took Jalen Milroe, the Seahawks, and
Yes.
now he'll be under Sammy D.
Yes. That was one, if he kept falling, Eagles don't really have a true QB2. And we did end up drafting a quarterback, I think, in the 6th round. But when Milroe was falling, I was like, that would honestly be a good backup for Hurts. And also like could be potential trade value down the road. Obviously not quarterback competition. Oh no, are the quarterbacks so bad?
This is such a fantastic list. I'm going to read it off to you in the order in which they were drafted.
Okay.
And the last one is fantastic. Okay.
Wait, was this, can I guess, or do you want?
What?
I'm going to guess. Don't tell me if I'm right or not. Was this Brock Purdy's year, Mr. Irrelevant?
So we have Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Desmond Ridder. Malik Willis. Matt Corral. Bailey Zappi. Sam Howell. Chris Oladokin.
Oh, yes. Yes. He's
Sure.
actually, don't disrespect, Super Bowl champion Chris Oladokin. I'm pretty sure he was on the Chiefs.
He got drafted by the Steelers, but yeah, he probably ended up somewhere. So after him, Skylar Thompson.
Ooh.
And Mr. Irrelevant, you were right, Brock Purdy. Isn't that crazy that out of that entire list, Brock Purdy is the last pick in that draft and is the best quarterback out of that draft?
See, like, it's funny you say that because Quinn Ewers this year was last. He obviously wasn't Mr. Irrelevant, but he was the last quarterback taken off the board. And honestly, we know how much I love Tua. There's no quarterback competition like coming into the start of this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Quinn. Like I'm very on the fence. Like I think he has some potential, but like transitioning to the NFL, you just like don't know. But if he gets to sit behind Tua, that is an offense that I do think he may be, as long as Mike McDaniel's still there, which is very question marky right now.
Yeah.
But, I low-key think that could be a good situation for him if he gets the chance to play. But that's after, again, my Bible letting him sit for a while. But we'll see.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, what are your thoughts on the Eagles grabbing a quarterback in this draft? Not that I don't think at all that Jalen would be in trouble at all, but we thought the same about Carson Wentz.
Honestly, I wanted us, like I said, like I would have been totally fine if Milroe kept falling, which I feel like would have been an even bigger conversation.
Right.
But no, we really, because we traded Kenny Pickett, we have like Tanner McKee and then Dorian DTR from
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Like, Tanner McKee, I really like, but like we saw last year, Jalen went down, Kenny went down, Tanner was hurt, finished out the game. Like you never know. So I'm totally fine with us taking a quarterback when we did, especially because this year, like there wasn't a ton of talent depth this year, like how he kept trading back to like grab more draft picks. Also, the guy that we took is like grew up an Eagles fan. Like he's from Mount Laurel, which is where NFL Films is.
Yeah.
He went to St. Joe's Prep, so like local kid. So I'm totally fine with it.
Okay. I didn't think that there was anything really story worthy there, but I just figured I'd ask you.
I will never. The draft that we took Jalen Hurts, I'm surprised I'm still here to live the tale because that was the night before the Cowboys got CeeDee Lamb. The Eagles passed on Justin Jefferson to take Jalen Reagor. And then day 2, I will never forget this moment. Me and my mom are sitting at our little high top bar stool table in our living room watching the draft, eating hoagies as we do. And she's like, what do you think they're going to do here? And I was like, at that point, we were not like a built team. I was like, we have so many holes to fill, like take best of at any of these positions and all be fine. They make the pick and go Jalen Hurts. And I am never silent. I was silenced in that moment. I was like, what? And it ended up being the best thing how we could have ever done.
I know. I mean, really, really worked out for you guys. But I remember you texting me that day. That was the COVID year. That was
Yes.
2020. And I remember sitting in my basement because I had nothing else to do, watched the entire draft that year,
Yep.
watched it like a psychopath. And I remember you texting me and being like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, at least he's good. Like,
That was one of like the most frustrating things for me coming out of that year because Jalen Hurts was my favorite quarterback coming out of that draft class. I was just a Carson Wentz truther. And at that point, like, we didn't know how bad things were actually getting, like, behind the scenes. Like,
right.
there was a lot going on that we clearly weren't aware of. Howie had a plan that, again, I knew nothing about. No one knew anything about. That came so far out of left field. And like I said, hindsight's 2020. And I even said, like, when I posted about it, where I was like, I love Jalen Hurts. Like, I hope I get proven right, but right now this or proven wrong. But like right now this feels funky.
Well, it ended up working out for you.
It did. And speaking of quarterbacks even further, you got your guy.
I'm still not over it. If you guys follow us on social media, you saw a lot of draft content this weekend. One of that being a clip of me reacting to the Jackson Dart pick. And while I was editing that, I was sitting on the couch and my husband was sitting next to me playing video games and we were spending our quality time together. He was cracking up because every time I was literally like fast forwarding between like things and whatever. And he was like, wah, 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 and like I'm like going really fast towards it. And he's like, what is that? And I was like, oh, that's me saying that the Giants just traded up and back into the first round. And he's like, you are a funny lady. He's like, you, and I was like, that's just the way Jordyn and I react with each other. Like, I don't get to react like that when I'm just by myself watching football because it's not fun to do it by yourself. You want to do it with another person.
Yes. No, and that's what when someone commented, because me and Sam just like to be excited. This is our passion. This is our career. That's what we do. And we posted the video and they're like, this wasn't that shocking. And it's like, okay, do you not like to have fun? Like,
yeah, it's like, well, first of all, yes, it was. Second of all, have more fun. Sorry you make sports boring.
Yeah, like you wish you were having fun like us.
We had such a good time. I know we already talked about it, but I just have to say it again.
No, it was literally like it flew by. And Sam texted me and I did it. I was listening to our live stream today. We were so unhinged.
No, it was like actually, and like I wish we could say we were like putting on a front, like for content purposes. No. That's literally just how we react to things. And
that would have been the equivalent if someone set up a hidden camera and we had no idea. Like nothing would have been any different. And that's again sober.
Completely. I just like I don't know. It's just, and we feed off of each other's energy and we know the other person is going to react the same way.
Yes.
Like even when the Giants traded the pick, Jordyn also screamed.
Yes.
She has no business screaming about the Giants trading up for a quarterback. But literally it was like you can hear both of us just going, ah, ah, like
we were screaming for different reasons. I was hoping you were taking Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, well, you know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally
we'd be having a different conversation today if that were the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Overall, though, what would you, if you were rating the Giants draft, what would you rate it?
I saw like a lot of people giving them like A minuses. I won't say A plus because I can't tell for sure, but I'll give them an A.
Yeah.
I think it was a great draft. I think it's one of the best drafts we've had in a while. And I even posted some content on my own personal TikTok and somebody like commented and was just like, why are you excited? They only drafted one good player. And literally somebody else, I never answer those comments. I can't deal with it. Yeah. Somebody else went into it and it literally listed off all our draft picks. And he was like, are you dumb? Like, no. Are you stupid?
I literally at one point looked at Brian and I was like, where the hell did the Giants just come from? Because like you guys drafted incredibly well.
Cam Scatterboo
makes me not nervous yet.
Fair.
But still, I don't like watching the teams in our division draft well. That competitive edge, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Eagles this year, I would give them an A- because I think we weren't obviously like our round 1 pick was basically round 2. Like, we didn't do anything crazy, but I think at every position or at every pick, we took the best available. There was one guy that I felt like I personally thought we reached on, but it seemed like Howie like really, really liked him, and I trust him with the way that he's been drafting. So we'll see. The only thing that I was disappointed of was that we didn't take a tight end because this was such a tight end. No, this was such a tight end heavy, or at least like one of the top tight ends.
Okay.
This was such a tight end heavy draft. And we went very defense heavy, but then I saw a report that came out, and I don't know if this is true at all, that Howie started all these stories about Dallas Goedert because we were going to go heavy defense on the draft, and they wanted everyone to think that we were going offense. And we have no plans of getting rid of Dallas Goedert. So we'll see if that ends up being true or not.
That's actually pretty phenomenal. I respect you for that.
At this point, he has to, because people are like, fuck this guy. So now he's like, shit, I got to do the Uno reverse on top of my Uno reverse.
Before we close out the show, I just have to say too, so obviously I slept over at Jordyn's that night after the draft, and I woke up the next morning. First of all, almost thought I died in my sleep, but it was fine. I didn't. And then Jordyn, literally, I opened my eyes. Jordyn is standing there. She has her phone in her hand, and she's like, I have to show you something. And I've been awake for less than 30 seconds. She starts showing me a Jackson Dart edit that she saw on TikTok that was posted by his sister. And it was basically like, dear Giants, take care of Uncle Jax. And it's like him interacting with his nieces and nephews. I start crying because, again, I've been awake for 1 minute, and I literally was like, what are you showing me? And then she showed me the video of Jahad Campbell sacking Jackson Dart, and she was like, is this better? And I was like, this is so much screen time for opening my eyes for literally 1 minute ago.
I literally walked out of my bedroom. Sam was dead asleep. Walked back in my bedroom. Walked out, and she rolled over. And I was like, you're awake.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I am awake. What's going on?
And then immediately I was like, get up. We're getting bagels.
We did. And then we went and got bagels. They were very good bagels. Very good bagels. I was very happy eating bread and cheese for breakfast. I haven't done that in a long time.
I love a bagel. I love bagels. I love the Philadelphia Eagles. I love watching the NFL draft with Sam.
And we're so happy to have all our new subscribers because you guys just loaded in all of a sudden. So hello. If you're new here, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Yes. And if you're even newer here and you haven't yet, then make sure you're smashing that subscribe button because we are close to 600. And if you liked that live stream, every time we hit a follower or subscriber benchmark, we go live. So keep subscribing so we can go live again. If you don't already, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at the Unsolicited_podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Sam and Jordyn. I almost forgot to give the handle there. And then also we are available wherever you get your audio podcasts.
You can find us on Twitter. That's it. You have to guess.
You can just find us. Just guess what our handle is.
All right. We love you guys. Bye.